For this assignment, I picked the epic fantasy novel Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson, and in particular, the deuteragonist Kelsier. In the book, Kelsier is a thief who plots the overthrow of the deific dictator who rules the world. The way he goes about this involves a lot of sneaking around, subterfuge, and sabotage. The character spends much of his time throughout the story going out into the nightly mists and skulking the city in which much of the narrative takes place, breaking into the mansions of the nobility, fighting guards, and assassinating high-ranking nobles while pinning the blame on their rivals. Given that, the genre that would make the most sense for this setting is stealth action. Predictably then, the first verb I have chosen is sneaking, which would be the core element of the game. The player would have to creep through the mist-covered streets, down alleyways, and through drainage ditches, searching for ways to infiltrate the homes of the high nobility. The player would be aided by the supernatural abilities the character possesses in the book, called allomancy, enabling them to stay hidden at the cost of resources in the form of the metals which power said abilities. And speaking of those self-same abilities, my second verb is enhancing senses. In the book, one of the abilities granted by Kelsier's allomancy is the ability to enhance his senses. This power enhances all his senses simultaneously, but the most relevant ones from a gameplay perspective would be sight and hearing. This could act as a way for the player not only to see the world more easily, but could allow for a mechanic that would alert them to the footsteps of nearby guard patrols and the like, making it easier to avoid enemies. It would, of course, come with weaknesses, such as sensitivity to bright lights and loud sounds, meaning a player could be blinded by a lantern or a fire if they aren't careful in their use of the ability. My third verb covers another of these abilities, or rather two of them, in the form of manipulating emotions. In the book, Kelsier has the ability to soothe or riot emotions. This could be implemented in gameplay by allowing the player to manipulate enemies, such as making them more or less curious or attentive, or even making a tired enemy fall asleep. It would require the player to observe an enemy carefully to determine which emotions can be effectively manipulated to achieve a desired result, adding a tactical element to the gameplay. There are, of course, many more elements that it could be touched upon, especially given that the character has several other supernatural abilities, but I'll stop there for this assignment. As I have hopefully conveyed, this is a rich world that would make for an excellent setting for a game. I can only hope that someday there will be one. I know I, for one, would love to work on it.